Good evening, all of you. Good evening, respected faculty members, esteemed participants, and distinguished guests. I, Pallavi Bhatt, on behalf of Banarsidas Chandiwala Institute of Information Technology, extend a warm welcome to all of you on the fifth day of our faculty development program on the role of generative AI and its applications in today's era. Over the past 4 days, we have had the privilege of delving deep into the fascinating world of generative AI, understanding its mechanism, exploring its diverse applications, and reflecting on its transformative impact across various industries. From automating tasks to creating art, from enhancing healthcare solutions to revolutionizing education, generative AI has proven itself to be a game changer. Today, we continue this exploration and focus on how these advancements are shaping our future and redefining the way we work, learn, and innovate. Now, I am very excited to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Dr. Smita Mahajan. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Smita Mahajan, an esteemed assistant professor in the Artificial Intelligence and Reinforcement Learning Department at the Symbiosis Institute of Technology, which is a part of Symbiosis International Deemed University located in Pune. Dr. Mahajan holds a PhD in computer science engineering and has built an impressive academic career focused on the cutting edge fields of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Her primary research interests include advancing AI and ML techniques and exploring their practical applications across a wide range of domains. She is particularly passionate about medical imaging, where she uses AI to enhance the analysis and interpretation of medical images, thus contributing to better healthcare solutions. In addition, Dr. Mahajan is deeply engaged in leveraging AI to drive digitization and improve healthcare systems, making them more efficient and accessible. Her expertise extends to time series analysis, where she works on developing AI methodologies for accurate forecasting, as well as to the world of Industry 4.0, where she integrates AI into industrial automation and smart manufacturing processes, transforming industries worldwide. Beyond that, Dr. Mahajan is also committed to using AI for sustainability and sensor networks, working to promote sustainable practices and optimize sensor technologies for real time data collection and decision making. Through her work, Dr. Mahajan is driving forward innovation at the intersection of AI and various application fields, helping to create practical, real world solutions that will shape the future. Please join me in welcoming the Dr. Smita Mahajan ma'am.
Uh, Thank you, Dr. Pallavi. Thank you for such wonderful introduction. I'm more than happy to have this particular opportunity being offered to you. So all the thanks to your organization BCIIT and the organization team. I hope my voice is clear to you all and I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please
Yeah,
continue.
yeah. Let me share the screen and directly start working on today's session. That is our yeah. I hope the screen is clearly visible to you all. Please confirm.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Yeah. So yes. So today's topic, before I start entering into today's topic, let me introduce once again. I'm Dr. Smita Mahajan, and today I'll be talking about generative AI in healthcare for current and future applications. As the name suggests, the generative AI in today's session or in today's era, it is just a keyword which everyone is trying to ponder upon. In my today's discussion, I will be talking about a very small introduction about the generative AI itself in my own understanding, current applications, ethical and regularity considerations, future applications and possibilities, challenges, limitations, and question and answer, along with the technical overview of the technologies which are prevalent into healthcare domain where the generative AI is applied. By now, we all are very well aware about what is generative AI. We have attended since from day one to today variety of type of applications and along with variety of type of technologies being utilized into this particular domain. So generative AI basically in layman's language is nothing but the system which is an intelligent system which is capable of generating new data. This data could be text, images, or even molecules, since we are talking about the healthcare or kind of domains, based upon the patterns learned from the existing data. So, important technical parts of any generative AI system when it comes for implementation includes the GAN networks, variational encoders, autoencoders, which are VAEs, diffusion models, and transformer based models. In almost every session by now we have understood the working of all, so I would directly like to go into our applications while giving the examples which are very much there in the practice which are utilizing these key components of any gen AI system. The chat gpt is next to our click for every person who is trying to do, even if we are trying the writing a draft mail or any thought that we want to reconsider or rewrite or make it formalized, whatever is the way, we simply chat with the chat gpt the way we chat with any intelligent person. Hence I say that it's an intelligent system which is capable of creating such text images. For example, DALI will allow me to create the images. AlphaFold is one more protein structure prediction model. So again, first of all, why healthcare needs generative AI? The very first question whenever we talk about healthcare. So currently the challenges in healthcare include the limited access to the specialists, especially in the rural areas. We all are well aware about the rural places where this newly or even established doctors are a bit reluctant to go for whatever reason. So that is where that one of the challenge or when why we need to have gen AI, especially into healthcare. Again, having said that, even if it is whichever location, the rising healthcare costs are definitely a concern for a common man. We all are very well aware that even if it is a small appointment with any medical practitioner, the amount of money incurred or involved, definitely one has to think before we start taking an appointment with the person. So the cost again is one of the factor, and insufficient personalized treatment options. Now personalized treatment option, we all are going to some particular doctor, and by and large we say that if so some kind of symptoms are there, that means this particular kind of disease or this kind of illness a person is suffering from. So it's a kind of generic statement or generic set of you can say assumptions, or you can say some test parameters are set all across, but which is not correctly is in my opinion. So this kind of challenges has given the opportunities which are given to our generative AI models, wherein we can get the automation of repetitive tasks which are kind of monotonous, kind of prone to error. So over there we can apply the generative AI. Say for example, if I have to take a routine pathological test of a person or many person together and generate the reports of the same. So again, as I said, it's a repetitive kind of task. Enhancement in medical imaging and diagnostics is also one of the opportunity which has opened up, because medical images definitely is, even if we go for taking an X-ray of a person, and the kind of images even the latest X-ray machines are generating, these kind of images are only available to the specialist, or are able or understood by the specialist themselves. So if my model is able to give you the detailed understanding of such images, even if it is a broken bone or fracture to what we call it as of one of the parts of your body, and analyzing it to its nitty gritty, to internal details as well, even that kind of analysis or diagnostics help the practitioners also, in addition to whatever knowledge that they have gained out of their practice. So this is one of the definite assistance to the medical practitioners as well as the common man who wants to know what is that is there in my image or in my X-ray or MRI report, and so on and so forth. Also, the generative AI models, I'm sorry for the sore throat. Generative AI model also helps in accelerating the drug discovery. Now, drug discovery is very much point of concern for the pharmaceutical industry. So, generative AI has come up with a lot many solutions after learning the existing material. That is how any particular GenAI model works, and that has given it tremendous option of obviously going for some solution which is definitely helping to identify the drugs for that particular ailment. So moving ahead, if I have to talk the current applications in generative AI, as I have told you, I will first discuss some few cases, and then I'll ponder into the technicality as well as the ethical concerns of this particular phenomenon. So, current applications of generative AI, especially in healthcare, though there are n number of applications, I am focusing upon few, looking at the kind of timeline that we are having. So the very first thing is drug discovery and development, just now as I've told you. Medical imaging, again, that is one of the concern or one of the important area where the Gen AI is proving its importance. Personalized treatment plans, virtual health assistants, generative AI for education and training, especially in medical fields or healthcare domain as well. So drug discovery and development, AI models are capable of generating molecular structures, because Gen AI's capacity is to generate something. Now, these somethings are text, images, audios, videos, we all are well aware about. So after giving the learning of the existing molecules or the molecular era, they are capable of generating the new molecular structures which can be utilized in formation of new medicines or kind of drugs which we are using. The case study which I'll be discussing is in silico medicine, and DeepMind's AlphaFold definitely are one of the examples that are very much prevalent in drug discovery and development era. Medical imaging, just now as I have told you, this here I can apply the Gen AI, the GAN, which is a core part of my Gen AI kit, will help me to enhance the images. For example, your CT scan or MRI scans, or even if it is a simple X-ray, that can be improvised by using the GANs, which is a core technology utilized in Gen AI, as to develop or as to create the similar or the required kind of image, which is again going to help us to analyze or diagnose that particular analysis. Also, medical imaging can be useful in synthesizing the training data for rare conditions. Many of us, we have seen the AR, VR kind of devices, which are the standard devices, along with their trainings. So in this case, we know that this kind of environments or simulators can be generated which can be again utilized by the medical professionals or practitioners, surgeons to that matter, who can help them to go to the nitty-gritties or the smallest possible location where they want to give some kind of treatment or kind of whatever way they have to utilize that particular image for their understanding and taking care of that correction of the portion. Personalized treatment plans will include the AI-based or digital generative AI-based decision support tools for tailored treatment. As I have told you, instead of going for a standard rate, looking at the person, looking at his geographical location, looking at his overall history, genomic structure analysis, based upon that, the personalized treatment plan can be uh, worked out so as to treat that very patient very correctly. For example, of chatbots for patients' engagement, for example, Babylon Health is one of the well-known bot, which is also called as conversational bot, which is helping in such kind of applications. Virtual health assistants, which will be helpful as again a conversational bot or conversational AI for mental health support. The well-known are VBots and Vyasa, wherein patients' triage and remote monitoring can be possible with these kinds of health assistants. Generative AI for educational training, as I have told you, creating the simulated cases for the medical training, which can be utilized for the upcoming doctors or established doctors, or even to the surgeons who can easily refer this kind of images or pictures or simulations, which can be utilized to treat the patient. So virtual anatomy models or interactive learning is possible with the generative AI education and training. So, drug discovery and development. How Gen AI is going to help? AI model can generate new molecular structures and drastically reduce the time and cost of the traditional drug discovery. As I have told you, I'll be talking about the in silico medicines, wherein the in silico medicine is one of the leading company in AI driven drug discovery and development era. They specialize in integrating AI with biology and chemistry for faster drug development. They focuses on addressing unmet medical needs through the innovative solutions. So that is about the company. What problem they were facing is they one of the example that I'm quoting over here is pulmonary fibrosis is one of the life threatening disease with limited treatment options. So traditional drug discovery or traditional method to treat the patient takes the time, usually 5 to 10 years, and you can imagine the cost associated with this kind of treatments. What happened over here? Uh, the faster solution that this another company with they were facing, the name is Ex Scientica. This is again one of the pioneer who are using AI for drug discovery and design. They combine AI with human expertise to create better, faster, and more efficient drug development pipelines. Their mission is accelerating the creation of life-saving medicines. Again, the problem that they were facing were the traditional drug design process. The earlier case is how the patient was taking too long for responding, or how long was the period for where the patient was required to be treated. Here, the challenge was the traditional drug design process are slow, inefficient, often taking years to identify the suitable drug candidates. So they were needing for faster solution to address urgent medical challenges, including cancer as well as rare diseases. So the solutions the Extensica has come out with was they use advanced AI algorithms to analyze the massive data sets of biological and chemical information. They wanted to have the rapid design and optimize the novel drug modules, which were with the high precision. So, with the help of Gen AI, what they have achieved is 50% reduction in the time required for bring a drug from the concept of clinical trials, and they designed a drug candidate for OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorder, in just 12 months, a process that otherwise would have taken traditionally 4 to 5 years. So the significance of this particular combination was that demonstrated the ability of AI to drastically improve the speed and efficiency of the drug discovery, and they highlighted the potential for personalized medicine by tailoring the drugs to specific biological profiles. So in this case, again, the research is still is in process, and they are achieving few solutions as well, wherein the continued innovation in AI-driven drug discovery can revolutionize the treatments in cancer, infectious diseases, and rare disorders as well. Similarly, the in silico medicine used the generative AI, where they wanted to have the potential drug targets and generate the novel molecular structure for which was optimized for safety and efficacy. So the output was they developed a preclinical drug candidate for the pulmonary fibrosis in under 18 months. The development of the drug itself took them less than 18 months. The cost also was reduced. Cost of drug discovery was significantly reduced compared to the traditional methods. So because of this particular achievement, what they could demonstrate is the potential of AI to revolutionize the drug discovery by accelerating the timelines, reducing the cost, and again enabling the personalized medical approach. Again, they are still involved into upcoming pathways for tackling other complex diseases using AI powered technologies. As I was talking about the medical imaging and the diagnosis, on the right hand side, I can see that there are 5 columns in which the original image captured from low resolution CT scans, where actual image should have been the ground truth images are like this. From the older data sets, after 50% of correction and 100% correction, the rightmost column shows the comparative difference between the original one, factually how it should be, and the achieved results are. We can see the achieved results are much comparable with what the actual ground truth is. So how generative AI helps in this particular thing is enhances the image quality. For example, we can see that the original images were having very low resolutions. Where also it helps in generating the synthetic data sets from training AI models when the real data is in scarce, and which is actually the concern of any medical problem statement. I myself was working on one of the problem statements where the oral cancer was required to be identified, detected, classified. So their classification as well as prediction were the task. We could collect the data from hardly 200 patients. That too, we wanted to find out whether the tobacco chewers, cigarette smokers, and how the oral cancer, which these two reasons are very calling reasons for them. But though the problem statement is very strong, there were lot many challenges we had to face while we were collecting the data, because lot many ethical concerns were raised, the privacy issues were raised, and that is the biggest challenge for any AI application, be it Gen AI application or AI application, who are intending towards working into the health domain. For example, as I've told you, in this case, the GAN has improved the MRI images resolution and clarity, and AI-powered tools assist in detecting the abnormalities in the radiological scans. So the third personalized treatment plan, this third point is personalized treatment plans, which includes how here the Gen AI is going to help the AI models. When I say AI models, that is, it takes all the tech stack of Gen AI system itself. So this model analyzes the patient's data to design the personalized treatment regimens. How it reduces the trial and errors in the treatment. Sometimes this is again a common experience of almost all the patients who are visiting their doctors, that if some particular treatment is not going well for doctor will tell us to take this particular treatment for say current 1 week. If not improved, then they will give you some different set or combination, and this is how the trial and error, and one fine time you either come out of it or you switch tend to switch the doctor either. So though I'm sounding it to be harsh, but sometimes some of us might have gone through such kind of experiences. So this would be avoided if I am having this kind of assistance, wherein my Gen AI will help me to identify the correct regime of the treatment which is suited for my personal physic, biological statements or biological infra of myself. Examples are AI models suggesting cancer treatment plans based on genetic data. They will analyze your genetic patterns, and based upon that, they can, after learning that, they can suggest you some such kind of treatment plans. Similarly, diabetes, which is again very commonly or prevalent disease, and it's a very what you can say well utilized. So many people are working, lots of researchers, doctors, so many people are having hands into this particular kind of development. With the enhancement or engagement of Gen AI, we can definitely see that the diabetes management apps generating diet and exercise recommendations very nicely, and which are useful definitely for the patients. Virtual health assistants, as I was talking about, how Gen AI is going to help there. So the conversational AI provides the immediate support for the routine queries. You don't have to engage with the doctors if it is a very common thing or something is to be just updated or kind of things. So in that case, the conversational AI will definitely help you so as to avoid your time, cost, money, or time and money, of course, and the kind of pain, logistical pain that we have to go through. Generative AI assists with the mental health monitoring and guidance as well, as I was talking about. Babylon Health AI-driven chatbot offering preliminary medical advice. Vyasa or bot, which is a mental health assistant who is providing emotional support to the people who are conversing with it. Again, important era, as since I belong to the academia, so this is again one of the important help that Gen AI in medical education and training. Here the Gen AI is going to help us by creating the simulations which are required for variety of types of medical scenarios which are very complex, very hard to even even with the help of PPTs or with the help of diagrams or drawing by hands, sometimes is really very challenging, which can be very nicely supported with the kind of simulations which can be developed with the help of our Gen AI tech stack. So it assists in building the virtual 3D anatomical models, and then as we can see in the picture, the trainer or the doctors can easily take help from such kind of simulations for their either understanding purpose or maybe for whatever required utilization from such kind of inputs. So examples are AI-based interactive learning for surgery techniques and diagnostics, generating rare disease scenarios for medical students, the disease scenarios which are rare, even one has to learn about them. So under such situation, the Gen AI can help you to create the synthetical data out of it. So generative AI is already transforming various aspects of healthcare by improving efficiency, reducing costs, and delivering better outcomes for the patients and the providers both. So generative AI holds the potential to revolutionize healthcare by enabling personalized treatments, enhancing efficiency in clinical trials, and preparing the world for future health challenges. So about the technicality means this is what I can say, that in general how Gen AI can be utilized. But now how the technologies are involved. In this case, the technologies involved are your neural network variational encoders, auto encoders. As I have told you, the working of all of them, if I start talking about it, it will take at least 4 to 5 hours for me to explain each of this particular module or the involved technological stack at this particular stage. So the neural networks, which are nothing but the variational autoencoders, VAEs, GANs, your generative adversarial networks, and transformers. In our earlier sessions, we already have learned about how the transformers are working, how the latent spaces are created, what this latent space mean to a developer, what a pre-trained module, what is fine tuning. All that technological stack definitely is important over here. So the core components in healthcare applications are data input from the clinical records, or could be from medical images or genomic data, etc. So any you can say pipeline of this particular Gen AI modules is, you will have the basic either predefined you can say large language models, which are pre-trained models. Usually that is how the approach is these days, that you will do the model training. If I talk about the basic pipeline of AI model, be it any general AI model, we know that we first have the data. It could be a synthetic data or a scraped data. You are creating that data, collection of the data. You will pre-process the data. You will explore the data. You will divide the data into training and testing set, and you will fit the data. When I say I'm fitting the model, at that time, what I am doing is I am allowing my system, AI algorithm, to learn from the training set that I have defined from the given existing data. So learning means the mathematical combination of the given features which are represented as a part of your data frame. If I assume that it's a data frame, which is a kind of .csv file, which is having your columnar representation, which are nothing but variety of types of features. If it is supervised approach, unsupervised approach, or reinforcement learning approach. So if it is supervised approach, you are having the labeled data. Then in that case, your model will learn from that 80%, 70%, whatever distribution you have done for train and test. It will learn from it. It will check its performance on the test data, wherein you will know how your model is performing, how closely it is going to this particular given learning on the test data. In case you may validate it, you can apply the k-fold validations, etc. And then you will forecast the futuristic values. The success of the model is based upon how close the results are. If it is labeled data, how closely my model is performing or identifying the unseen data very closely to what actually it should have been. In case of unsupervised machine learning, it will calculate the statistical distance, say for example Euclidean distance between the features, and then it will group the similarity features at one particular section, and if the unseen data is shown, wherever the closer match is there, you will say that this particular new entity belongs to some kind of cluster or kind of categories. So that is for your unsupervised and supervised approach. In case of your reinforcement learning approach, you have the trials and errors. Again, the particular thing suffers from sparse reward system. It has the limitation of sample size. All such challenges are very much there. Compared to that, if I talk about the Gen AI models, wherein I will take the privilege of the pre-trained models. The pre-trained models, for example, GPT-based models. We all are very well aware about what GPT is doing, which has been trained on almost 500 billions of data, and then almost it knows so many things. And based upon that, when you ask a question, that is, once the learning has happened, testing had happened, and now you as a user, you are asking some particular question, we know the entire tech stack of how your query is passed, how the chunks are created, how the embeddings are created, how that linkage happens, how the latent space is utilized, and how your answers are rendered back to you close to what are your expectations. And by and large, we have seen that usually it gives you the correct answer or close to correct answers, provided you are selecting a correct prompt that you are asking to the model. So in this case, the transfer learning, federated learning, all such kinds of techniques are utilized when I'm using the training part, or when I'm training my model as such. So what output I'm expecting over here in my case, where I'm using Gen AI for the healthcare applications, wherein I'll be giving the clinical records of a patient, which includes the demographical records, pathological records, any images, X-rays, MRIs, CT scans, etc. Along with that person's name, whatever is the data associated with that particular person, that learning is given to my models. So what output I'm expecting? AI generated diagnostic reports, or otherwise if I'm utilizing it for drug discovery, so molecular structures, or the personalized treatment plan based upon what kind of application, which I just now few I have mentioned. There are, believe me, n number of applications within those large umbrella under the healthcare we can go about. So again, as this already I have talked about, if it was medical images and diagnosis, GAN will enhance, means the core tech stack of my model will enhance the resolution. It will generate the images which are rare in condition, and model will assist the radiologist in detecting the anomalies. Say, for example, it was a cancerous lesion. For example, GAN-based synthetic image generation for training the unrepresented diseases. Okay. When it came to personalized diseases, the model will analyze the genomic data to design the tailored treatment plans. For example, generative models to simulate the patient-specific responses. Having said that, these all are the way we can implement the generative AI in healthcare. Very, very sensitive and important factor that one has to consider is ethical and regulatory considerations while we apply any Gen AI model for any of the application in healthcare especially. Because point number one, bias in AI models. For addressing the biases into your models, what bias is, I will definitely talk about it. Data privacy and security. You have accountability, who is responsible for the decision that has been given by your model, who will owe that responsibility. And thirdly, lastly, the you can say the regulatory bodies like FDA, EMA, and their roles in improving the in approving the AI applications. So the ethical consideration, as I have told you, the bias in the model. Even my earlier session, I have asked this very question, because not only to the healthcare domain, but also to the any of the domain where I'm utilizing the Gen AI, bias plays an important role. So what this bias is all about? Bias means, suppose uh, generative AI model may inherit the biases from the training, leading to unequal outcomes. Say, for example, that is also called, you can say, the hallucination that the models develop. Suppose if I say that this, any example, excuse me if I'm quoting something, but somebody says that Shivaji Maharaj was not Maharashtrian. Another person also comments on some of the tweets or something like that, any social media, some such controversial statement, 100 times, 100 such people answers in this particular fashion. And if a student asks a question about this particular fellow, what happens is, this kind of understanding, learning which my model has already done, that will allow, or that because of such kind of wrong votes which are given as a part of training, or kind of not correct information given to my models to learn from, will obviously make the model eligible to give you the incorrect answer or questionable answers. So that is what is the precise example. AI generated treatment plan in case of healthcare may not be equally effective across diverse demographic groups because of some misleading learning given to my model. So this is the challenge. So what I should do when I am applying the generative AI, how should I handle this? I should see to it that the diversity is very much there into the training data set itself. Eventually, when I am designing my model, at that time, I am defining the PDFs which I am going to give it as the learning material, training data set. So I should be very careful about how I am giving this kind of inputs or learning to my model, based upon which further I'm going to fine tune, further I'm going to ask the question, further the model is going to give my answers, etc. That last, the next part is very much there. So I should be very vigilant, especially in case of healthcare, that I provide the data which is very, very prerequisite, which is very, very correct data, so that my model need not be on its own generate some false answers or some biased answers, which are based upon the learning that it has had from your learning data set. That is the very, very important fact. That is what I am telling them, be it healthcare, be it industry 4.0, or be it any kind of platform where or you can say domain where I'm applying my Gen AI model. So obviously, rightly so, what you are teaching it, it is going to give you or obey your understanding, your knowledge, and accordingly is going to answer the queries which are asked by some, you can say, visitors, or you can say users of that particular model. Right. So solution is ensure diversity. In this case, the example which I have quoted over here, that AI generated treatment plans might not be equally effective across the diverse demographic groups. So solution is to ensure the diversity in training data sets, conduct the continuous auditing of AI systems for fairness. That is again one of the important factor. So audit of the information one has to periodically do, so as to avoid such kind of biases in my model. When I say introducing the audit, that means the way, the kind of input that I'm feeding it to, on my way, whether that particular data is getting tampered when while so you can run the sample test sample outputs, so as to cross verify what your model is answering to your queries before you deploy to your users workspace or etc. Another challenging issue, especially once again in case of healthcare domain, is privacy and data security. Just now I have quoted the example of my own experience where I was trying to collect the information about the oral cancers for tobacco chewers, no chewers, smokers, no smokers. People are not ready to share their information. They, rightly so in a way, they do not want, because today's era is a social, is empowered by social media. No sooner you say something out, within no time it goes viral, and the corresponding or further you can say fallouts of such kind of viral messages are definitely very costly in many more terminologies. So when it comes to privacy and data security, Gen AI models requires vast amount of sensitive patient, means sensitive data of the patients, right? So which increases the risk of breaches and misuses as well, from the developers, from the users, whomsoever it is. So there is definitely a risk when somebody is exposing his personal information, sensitive information, to some such kind of learnings. So that is where nowadays you must have seen that while interacting on chat GPT or some such kind of this one, you should never reveal your own information. Whatever are your prompts, whatever are your question, you should ask in a smarter way, so that you are not leaking any personal details onto such communications. So that is something that one has to learn, because this definitely is a kind of challenge. So how it could be, though it is a challenge, how it can be controlled, how, what solution we should provide, like, so what we should do is employ robust encryption and anonymization techniques, wherein then end-to-end encryption of the data, what your WhatsApp is claiming, that end-to-end encryption, you should provide the provision wherein some certain portion of the information which is getting transacted will be anonymized. That means will be hidden from the, from getting exposed, right? So that is one of the solution. Implement strict data access protocol. Who, the three A's of security: audit, authentication, authorization. So who is accessing, how much is he accessing, and that protocol means that control if you are having, then definitely you can control the privacy and data security issue even in healthcare domains. Even the regulation, especially in privacy and data security, the regulation, we have to ensure the compliance with the privacy law. If some such cases happen, then the HIPAA, that is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, must be deployed very strongly so that next time this kind of events, one would have to think while doing again similar kind of things. So such kind of regulations should strongly be laid by the government authorities or such kind of acts. Ethical use of AI generated content. In this case, issue is risk of over reliance of on AI for diagnosis or for treatment recommendations, in especially when I am utilizing the Gen AI in healthcare domains. So I should not 100% be relying upon, like these days we are habituated that no sooner I want to send a mail to somebody, I will just give my prompt that I want to do right like this kind of mail. Please draft a mail for me, and the chat GPT is very much there for so that it can draft that mail for you. You simply Control C, Control V, that kind of information. Little bit of modification, you are done and dusted. So this is really a very risky approach wherein you are hampering your creativity. Along with that, you are totally depending upon AI. Sometimes down the years, one should not say that without such kind of assistance, you are not able to do some certain tasks. So that risk we have to realize well within time. And the solution to handle such over reliance on these technologies is to maintain human oversights in decision making processes. We need not give and everything likewise. So that is where you would have I, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, RLHF, reinforcement learning human feedback, is the concept these days now prevalent all over the case, wherever the RL applications are there. So you will have some kind of human control or the probe given into human's hand, so as to even the XAI, explainable AI, all these things are nothing but aims or the efforts towards handling such kind of ethical issues in these kind of challenges. You can also ensure the accountability and accuracy by combining AI with the experts review. So even if I'm using this Gen AI to write down some particular prescription or kind of application, I should definitely take assistance from my peer or from my senior. Once I consult with him, then I can review that what my model is outputting, whether along with me, whether somebody is rechecking that particular, so as to cross confirm the solutions that I'm suggesting to my patients. So again, another challenge, especially in regularity challenges faced by Gen AI, are lack of standardized guidelines is also one of the issues. The rapid AI innovation has outpaced the healthcare regulations. Currently, the gaps involve no universal standard for approval of AI generated drugs, diagnosis, or therapies. So again, that is particular problem. Current potential solution could be, it is not yet though implemented, it could be develop a global framework for AI regulation modeled on existing drug approval processes. Then we can say that somewhere or other we can have the control over all such kind of, or the guidelines, one has to strictly obey the compliance of these guidelines, and accordingly we can control this challenge, regularity challenges. Also, liability in AI decision making. Issue is, it is unclear that who is liable or responsible if AI generated recommendation lead to some harm, whether it is developer, healthcare provider, or organization. To whom you will challenge to that he has made a mistake, or that is developer has a mistake, or healthcare provider has misunderstood what the output the system has developed, or the entire organization who are allowing you to apply these Gen AI models while to do your patients analysis, surgery analysis, training, whatnot, all the domains that we are talking about. So the solution should be define clear legal frameworks to assign the responsibility for AI outcomes, then only again we can say somewhat it could be controlled. Certification and validations also of the AI models is also one of the challenge. That is, generative AI tools require rigorous testing and validation for deployment in critical healthcare scenarios, which are scarce. Means such kind of situations are scarce, and we say that we will allow you to have the simulated environments and upon which you will do that. So the solution could be establish a certification protocol also to assess the reliability, reproducibility, and safety of AI systems. So if we take into consideration all these remedies or kind of solution, definitely we can have some control on this particular ethical as well as the regularity consideration. So ethical AI design principles should include transparency, accountability, fairness, safety, along with that, balancing the innovation and integrity. That does not mean that you should not stop innovating. That does not mean that you should not excel with the technology era as well. As the technology grows, obviously we also tend to utilize such technology. That is what is the aim of the technology, as to give you the betterment to the human life kind, mankind. So in that go, we should be taking that particular race, but there should be a balance strike between innovation and the integrity. The integration of generative AI in healthcare must balance the innovation, harnessing AI's potential for breakthroughs, no doubt about it, but ethics and regulations, ensuring the fair, safe, and equitable outcomes must also be seen for. So with that, I can say that in futuristic applications of Gen AI, we can utilize the Gen AI in advanced diagnostics, where the AI, Gen AI will predict the diseases before the symptom manifest. Healthcare accessibility, where using this Gen AI to reach the unserved populations. For example, telemedicines, language translations definitely will help you at least to preliminary level, or to go to kind of situation where we can apply our Gen AI models in this case. AI powered surgery is also one of the upcoming eras, where we can have the collaborative robots generating surgical plans or executing the surgical plans, maybe in simulation or maybe actual assistance phase. Bioprinting and regenerative medicines, AI generated design for tissues and organs should also be one of the futuristic applications. And longevity and preventing the preventive healthcare system. So generative AI for lifestyle and genetical analysis can be one of the futuristic applications. In personalized medicine at scale, the concept leveraging Gen AI models to create highly customized treatment options for the individuals. The potential advancement could be AI generated drug combination tailored to patients' genetics and medical history, both the things combined together. AI producing long-term outputs for various treatment plans. And for example, you can say automated tools generating specific cancer immunotherapies unique to each patient individually. AI driven clinical trials can also one of the futuristic example, where AI can transform the trials by synthetic data generation. AI model can create the realistic patient data set to stimulate the trials, predicting the trial outcomes before the real world testing. So on the simulation itself, you should provide the drug, you should check the trials, you should see the outcomes, and if it is well and good, then only you can try it actually onto the patient, what treatment plan that you are suggesting. Impact, this will help us to reduction in time, cost, and ethical concerns of the clinical trials, inclusivity of diverse population through synthetic data sets, that also could be one of the things. As I have told you, this particular discussions or this particular applications are too long. The list is very long, like AI augmented robotic surgery, wherein the futuristic innovation could involve robots powered by Gen AI models capable of simulating and improving the surgical techniques, real-time guidance for predictive modeling using surgery, which will help to increase the surgical precision and reduce the recovery times as well. Wherein Gen AI generating simulation for novel procedures for before performing them onto the patients. Advanced mental health care is also one of the concerns throughout the world, where the generative AI will help in simulating conversations to detect the early signs of mental health condition. AI driven therapy tools that adapt dynamically to the patient's emotions and needs, wherein now we can provide the scalable solution for mental health care with the personalized AI counselors available 24 by 7 all across the globe. Digital twin for personalized simulation is also one of the solution application which we can consider, wherein digital twin, which is a replica of a patient created using generative AI. Now, simulation will help us how a patient would respond to different treatments. So that will turn the table very nicely as to have the applications of predicting the outcome of surgeries or therapies in advance, testing the multiple treatment scenarios without risking the patient's life, right? And as I said, limited data sets and rare conditions is one of the major challenges. High computational costs for this and need of interdisciplinary collaboration are the something that we should definitely look for. So the high computational cost, as I was talking about, limited data set and rare conditions. Number of times I have said that the Gen AI models are rely heavily on the large data set for training. So rare diseases often lack sufficient patients' data, making it difficult to develop the accurate models. So this impacts the limited generalization and potential inaccurate prediction, or you can say bias, produced in such kind of situation, wherein we can provide a collaborative global healthcare networks to have the pool of data together, which can be utilized. We can utilize synthetic data generation techniques for augmenting the data set while ensuring the clinical validity. So, for example, rare genetic disorders like fibry diseases, where patients' data is very minimal, we can apply such kind of approaches over there. For high computational cost, we can say you have the challenge of training and deploying generative AI models who require the significant computational resources, leading to high cost. Because of this cost, the limits adoption in resource constrained settings, such as low income countries or small healthcare facilities. Then obviously they will not afford such kind of utilities because of the kind of computational complexity required to handle the large data set, the kind of networking situation that we need to deploy such kind of applications so that they can be made available across the areas. So solution could be optimize the AI algorithm for efficiency, develop cost-effective cloud-based solutions to share the computational loads. For example, we can have the training a state-of-art generative AI model like ChatGPT, who requires multiple high-performance GPU or TPUs, making it inaccessible for smaller organizations. So we need to have the interdisciplinary collaborations wherein different domains come together, experts from different variety of types of domains come together, which includes the professionals, ethicists, and regulatory bodies, and they can find out the gaps, they can come up with the solutions, and they foster the interdisciplinary training program for AI and medical professionals, establishing cross-disciplinary committees for AI project developments. So example, creating AI-powered diagnostics that are clinically interpretable requires both medical and technical expertise. So this would be my closing remark, that generative AI has immense potential, but must be implemented ethically. That is something that is I would definitely say. And lastly, generative AI has transformative potential in healthcare, but it comes along with the ethical, computational, and collaboration challenges. A multidisciplinary approach is crucial to unlock the Gen AI's full potential while addressing the limitations. So, generative AI is not just about technology, but it's about transforming the healthcare for a better and more inclusive future. So, on this note, I would like to thank you all for patiently listening to me. Uh, on the screen, I am showing my email addresses as well. I now take your permission to stop the sharing of my presentation, and now we can discuss the queries if at all if they are there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that incredibly insightful and thought provoking session. We truly appreciate the time and effort you have taken to share your knowledge with us today. Now, I would like to open the floor for the questions. If anybody has any question, please raise your hand, or if you prefer, post your queries in the chat box and we will address them. Any questions? If you have any query, please raise your hand, or you can write the questions in the chat box also. One question is how encoder used in health dataset.
In case of health data set, how the
Yeah.
encoders are used. So usually the case study that I am discussing, if it is a pathological data or if it is an image kind of data. So the role of encoder is to convert one format into another format. As we are well aware about, when I am using a tech stack of Gen AI, wherein I need to have the variational encoders, and their job is to have this vector creations of my embeddings in a vector format. So in this fashion, encoders will obviously be, even if it is a health data set, as I said, if it is numerical one, the job is very much easier. If it is an image kind of thing, definitely you will have the matrix representation of these particular images, and eventually you will create the multiple vectors, and the encoder's job is to convert these embeddings into this vectorized representation of the information. I hope I have addressed the query.
Okay. Any other question? Any other query? Ma'am, can Gen AI be trusted to make accurate diagnosis or treatment recommendations?
Just now, as I have told you, this is one of the challenges, and I think I have discussed in elaboration about
Yeah.
how the ethical practices as well as the regularity norms should be laid if we want to deploy the Gen AI or kind of AI model, not only the Gen AI, but any AI model that we want to deploy, especially on the healthcare domains or even if any other domain where the cost involved is as well as the life of a person is involved there. So under such situation, you need to have the regularity definitely laid on the decisions that your output is being generated. Prior testing of the model has to be is a must in such cases, so that whatever treatment plan or whatever result that you are coming out with, that should be priorly tested n number of times before applying onto a patient. And you have to have the legal structure very much in set process, wherein you can know that what the decision was taken, why the decision was taken, how the decision was deployed, and what challenge or cost it is going to incur to the patient. So you, it's a conscious decision one has to take while you are taking the assistance from the AI models or Gen AI models, whatever you call it as.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. There is another question. Can we use encoder for feature selection also?
In my knowledge, no. Correct me if I'm wrong, because feature selection is a different story altogether. wherein we calculate the statistical distances, we find out the similarity of the features, etc. So for me, I think whatever learning that I'm having, I never use the encoders to find do the feature selections.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any other question? Any other query? Please raise your hand or write in the chat box.
Yeah. The question is, how can generative AI be used in healthcare while ensuring the privacy of high-profile individuals' data through techniques like anonymization? As I have explained this particular challenge also, this is one of the concerns or the challenge which has to be seen. So for that reason, you have to take the prior permission of the such high profiles who are ready to share their information, because once this information is shared, as I said, it is going to be viral. So it is a call to be taken by the patient whether they want to expose their information and obviously breach their privacy under such situation. Even if you are using the anonymization techniques, still there is a risk of having that kind of data exposed.
There is another question. Do we have any technical limitations of generative AI in healthcare today?
I would say that availability of the data is the biggest technical challenge. Once we have data in abundance, I'm sure the remaining part is pretty much easier, other than computational cost. That means utilization of GPUs, utilization of the speed with which the transformation happens. All these are the glitches one has to go through. But very first challenge is availability of the data.
Okay, there is another question. What are those parameters which are responsible for improving accuracy of models if data set is more, whether it's healthcare data or any other area?
You mean to say how can I improve the accuracy of the model? So to
Models.
improve the, yeah, to improve the accuracy, what I can say, let us say I am taking a numerical data itself, and the evaluation parameters, which are my MAEs, MSE, RMSE kind of parameters that I am going to utilize. Now I want to improve this particular performance. That means, I will have to first check the performance of my model on the training data, on the testing data. If the model is underperforming or overperforming, that I will have to decide. Based upon that, I should deploy the validation techniques where k-fold validations can happen, and then you can have a chance of improving the data set. If I talk about Gen AI, we have to have the training data set, which is not a biased data one, or you can have the data set should include as much diversity as possible, be it demographic data, be it symptomatic data, be it pathological data, or combination of all. As much as variation in the learning phase itself will definitely help to improve your model's performance, I mean.
Any other question? Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for engaging. This is nice question, engaging question answer session. I hope everyone is finding today's session valuable and stimulating. Thank you
Uh,
very
I,
much, all the
I would also
participants.
I would also like to take the chance to express my thanks and the kind of support, especially Pallavi ma'am has given me throughout this entire journey. I am definitely thankful to the organization, to the institute who has organized this valuable FDP, and definitely I will look forward for many more such opportunities coming in future days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker, Mr. Ashutosh Narayan Jha, sir, is already in the meeting. So we will start our next session now. It is now my uh, Sonia ma'am. Can we start our next session?
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Okay,
Hello.
thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker for today's session, Mr. Ashutosh Narayan Jha, sir. With 17 years of experience in software engineering and technology leadership, Ashutosh sir is a seasoned professional specializing in DevOps, site reliability engineering, and emerging technologies such as machine learning and generative AI. In his current role as a DevOps SRE engineer, he leads digital transformation initiatives, manages legacy to cloud migrations, and designs scalable infrastructure stacks to support multi tier web applications and microservices across AWS, Azure, and self managed cloud environments. He is particularly skilled in optimizing system reliability, architecting CI CD pipelines, and driving end to end automation throughout the software development lifecycle. In addition to his expertise in DevOps, Ashutosh sir is deeply involved in R&D within the fields of machine learning and generative AI. He explores AI-driven solutions, integrates them into cloud environments, and works closely with cross-functional teams to transform theoretical research into scalable production ready systems. A natural leader and mentor, Ashutosh Sir is passionate about guiding teams through digital transformation and automation. He plays an active role in mentoring next generation talent NGT engineers and contributes to CSR programs by providing technical training to underprivileged students, empowering them to pursue careers in technology. Thank you very much. Now I am handing over the session to Ashutosh sir.
Hey, good evening, team. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Just a moment, please. Let me my camera.
Yes, sure, sir.
Oops. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. And I'm not used to hear this word, sir, because since I work in a corporate environment where we just use the first name, so that is really enough for me. And yeah, so sir and madam, I think especially it goes for you guys, where you all are leading and doing such a wonderful effort on day by day basis to prepare talent like me and will be preparing in a future. So that sir and madam belongs to you guys only. We are on a corporate level. We are really happy with the first name itself. But anyway, thank you for really such a good introduction. And I think it is the sixth day of this program, correct, ma'am?
Sir, this is
Yes,
fifth
it's
day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
And yeah, please.
Tomorrow is last day, sixth day. Today is
Okay.
fifth day.
Okay. Good. And considering the entire week have been with the Gen AI concept, So lots of things would already have been covered, and I don't think lots of things means all of the things is already have been presented by the esteemed presenter which have been invited. So really feel blessed and privileged that I'm still connected with my colleagues. Thank you, Ravi sir, Sandeep, and yeah, of course Pallavi ma'am, who were throughout in touch with me to have me onboarded for this journey. So really, thank you. Okay, let me share my screen and please tell if it is visible. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I believe my topic is same. This healthcare use cases. Uh, so instead of just jumping on the use cases, what is happening around the healthcare, uh, I would like to drive starting not in a deeper level, but just in a sequential way, so that at least we could reach where we want to. So considering that in mind, I have prepared these mainly I will say the three topic, the chronicles, how we have started the things and where are we right now. Since I belongs to the technical background, so of course something techy would be there in between. Not much, but still something. So that my intention is if you guys already working on in this era, or if you want to work, how you can start. Like when we do something, right? And you guys teach something to any student. First thing you guys say, okay, learn hello world kind of thing. So that things would be there, just a hello world kind of thing with the Gen AI. I assume most of you already might be working on this area. That is how we are together in this section. And then the couple of case studies which are prevalent around the globe, which we can search easily and available on the public domain itself. And what is next? Of course, yeah, we'll discuss in that slide itself. Okay, I assume you already might have gone with this, but just want to have some refreshment kind of thing where we are heading and where we have started. If you see we see the kind of the Venn diagram, which we of course we read in our academic days, even in the corporate days, to make a relationship, to understand and to date the concept, how things are related with each other. So on the broader sense, we can say AI, right? AI is there on the broader level, and the ML, that is machine learning, it is subset of that AI. Then again, further, you can say tweak, transformation, or fine tuning, refinement in the computational world, processing, algorithms, then deep learning was introduced, and now the Gen AI. So you can see the definition is very subtle. When we say just AI, the things human should do basically. But we as a human think, what if we outsource those works to say some machine and it can do my work and ease me out so that I can relax somewhere and uh, do whatever stuff I want to do. So there it is a artificial intelligence because intelligence is there, but it is artificial because it is done by some non-living things. And the next ML, if you see, or I believe you might have gone with this one as well. So again, on top of that, it just not just do some decisions or predictions. It try to learn as well. It's try to preserve those data with it and make those data point to find the further decision and predictions. And as our computational world evolved, hardware got cheaper, we invested more on transforming existing algorithms. Of course, algorithms is not designed by us, means a technical person. It is you guys there sitting and working with the new talents, designing on the research and thinking how you guys can do better and better so that human life can be more easier. So all the algorithm which we see, it is not mostly the corporate, right? It is mostly the academician, and there are multiple corporate in the world who have this bunch of people who keep working for them, and they prepare these data or these algorithms which are transferred into some coding. It might be any language. So, and then those are checked, and then we see, okay, it is success or failure, and we keep working on it. So now, if we see the milestone in healthcare of the Gen AI, so I believe you might have uh, seen this type of information that AI is not a new thing. It has been started in early 50s itself, and 56 around it is considered as the startup of the AI stuffs. So as healthcare in Gen AI, it's also goes to that era. Just try to note a couple of information from here. Like you can see here, the first one, the rule-based system in 1970, sorry, the mycin, which was designed there for bacterial infections. So it is now we can say as the journey started with the AI in 50s, so as the our esteemed scholars, the faculties at that time, whatever algorithms they had designed, the vision was same to make human life easier. Now you can see that next eight milestone which we see after the 70s, it is 1980s to 2000, where uh, one thing is clear for all of us now that if we need artificial intelligence, we need artificial data as well. Artificial data means it is not the live data. It is not data is flowing somewhere and it is in, say, in our stream, it is flowing and flowing. So somewhere some data points are to be there so that people or machine algorithm can utilize it, can interact with it, and make sort of usage so that we can make it work for us towards the system or algorithm which we as a people are trying to design. In this era, again, we have progressed a bit. Now you can see here, if you can relate there, AI, actual 1950, then ML, then deep learning, now the Gen AI concept. So now we have moved this toward this ML stuff. It's still in 2000 era, deep learning was not very much popular, and it's not because the concept was not known. If we could go with the older articles or older research papers, things are there. The problem was the hardware cost and the availability of the machines, availability of the uh, infra resources, unavailability of the pre-compiled data which we need, or which we can say as a faculties needs to validate if those algorithm, the research things are working correctly or not. Now, if you see this IBM Watson Health, the 2011 itself, of course, it is uh, in that era itself when it has started to work. And if you guys have searched, IBM is really a good organization in a corporate, based on my interaction with the multiple uh, at such a level of giants are available. Reason being, of course, Meta, Facebook, Meta, Microsoft, Google are there, but IBM is really pioneer in these things, and they have really good wing of researchers available with them, and they are constantly working. of course, this point is not mentioned in this slide, but I really would like to highlight that thing of IBM. It's really good thing that they keep researching, keep innovating well before when these new players, the new startups were not in the market, when the infra was really costly. So from that era itself, they were working on it. Then we see 2012, the DeepMind. The DeepMind, it used to be a different company. Now, if you read on the internet, it is acquired part of the Google right now. But yeah, it was a separate one. It also started to utilize the existing algorithms and using the deep learning. And deep learning is they are using of the neural networks to work on the medical imaging, the X-rays, CT scans, so that the practitioner can make really good use of those data to make a precise, or you can say the better decision. That was its intention was there. Similarly, when now we move ahead in the coming era, as we are new organization, new names have started to flourish. You can see everyone has started to contribute some way or the other towards this healthcare system. So now even Google, Meta, GPT, I think this word is, of course, is a really widespread familiar due to this chat GPT application when it was launched publicly that anyone can interact and see it. And I believe you know the GPT. So chat GPT is different. Chat GPT is just a name of that product which OpenAI as a company make use it. And GPT, I believe you are already now familiar with. Means it is a generative pre-trained transformers. So of course, this is kind of the same thing, but some additional layer of enhancements or algorithms with the power set of data as introduced. Now, again, if we move in this era, in 2020s, if we believe the current one, you can see the multiple things are there here. And with the launch in 2020, with the usage of AI system toward the pandemic things which may happen in future, or to well prepare in advance, though there are multiple organizations right now or startups are working on that direction as well. But the main challenge still is there, the data, which we discuss why data is a main challenge and why we are not progressing, even though it has started late 50s. Now we have hardware resources are very cheap. We have good engineers, we have good skill, but still we are not progressing with that pace. So what is the challenges which is obstructing us to progress well? So that we will discuss in some challenges phase. Even now, in the clinical decision support system, if you say, there are a couple of programs or models which are now approved by FDA. FDA, you might be familiar with, means whenever some medicines, drugs are introduced or to be introduced into the market, they are to be validated with certain parameters which are governed by this Food and Drug Agency, which is basically in USA, and it has its center in, I think, across the globe. But of course, not much deep familiar with all this approval and process. But I know something is there which need those types of approval if some sort of any, any model or any things are launched which will affect the human life or the way human or us are living. So those type of approval, of course, unless it is not from the FDA, it is not rolled out around the worldwide. Now, if you see the current industry insight, with it is basically the healthcare market. I have not just noted the Gen AI market. So as per the research, this Fortune Business Insight, we can see here in one, it was at around 1.2 billion in 2023, but it is estimated that by 2030 we will be it will be market will be 12.9 billion. So that means there are lots of money being pumped in this area. So these money are say not is a you'll see it is not coming from the government itself. It is coming from the venture capitalist, the business business person, the corporate world, and of course, motto of different agencies are different. Some has motto of okay, the I should be the one which launched something new in this era and marked a patent against my organization. Some motto is there, say for example, government agencies, we should launch or invest in these programs to make life better around us. So when we say life, it is not just human, because if these things touches human, our agriculture, our pets, maybe in India at this moment we don't have a that much of say process or a step-wise thing for a pet adoption, but around the globe, for most of the I think developed country, they consider their pet as a their own children. So kind of similar as treatment they want for their pets as well. So when we discuss this healthcare, it is not just for human, it is for apply for pets as well. And in the agricultural field as well, where we want to improve how the corpus yields, how it can be uh, predicted for the farmers so that they could be well prepared in an advance based on the of course, the sample data, the context in which they are farming. So all those things are already being worked in the background. Multiple agencies, corporate. Uh, I was already familiar with the in my previous organization, Capgemini, was we were already working with on those data with a set of new NGT, means new generation talent engineers, that how we can develop those things, because of course these things are in POC steps, R&D steps. So how we can design those systems so that we could warn or guide our farmers well in advance based on the area they are say living, the type of crops getting produced, how they can make their crops healthy. So these works are already being done in, say you might say, in a small chunk, sometimes it is a big chunk, but it is being done. And of course it is being funded by different means or the other. These are just you can say the stats around this industry stats, and uh, it is not going to a stop here. This data will change early. Uh, how these data are getting changed, or as I say, it will change more, because as we are progressing, we are seeing new set of viruses are being introduced. Maybe now you can say artificial virus or a natural virus. But to tackle those things, again, uh, many of these companies or the corporate government agencies, the people or the researchers are already working continuously into their different labs. So this work is not going to halt. Of course, challenges are there, which everyone is trying to sort out at their each individual level. Challenges maybe someone wants to do the negative stuff and someone wants to do the positive stuff, and accordingly they wants to handle it, but it is there. Next, okay, on this slide. If we just like normally when we go for any topic in theoretical concept, like what we are going right now around this Gen AI concept. So this is of course Gen AI this sort is based on Gen AI, not the healthcare uh, completely, but this slide is basically for around the Gen AI itself. Just a key point, and maybe it is a refresher for you. So strength we all know right now. Gen AI is creative, right? Efficient content generation. Scalability is there, and cost efficiency is there. Now, cost efficiency and scalability has introduced because of this reduction in the technology costs. These things would have been done in the way beyond when we were not born, I believe. Honest people like me at that time, it would have been done. Cross industry application, like of course you might have, not might have, you already have witnessed it. It is not just in health industry; it is cross industry application, and even in each segment, whatever area we look into, and you just visualize, and you can think you can apply the Gen AI there, even for your result generation, right? For example, if my institute is running for last 20 years, we can develop a Gen AI solution or Gen AI application or bot for institute as well. And the data input would be the type of students are they and getting enrolled, who have already enrolled, where they have been, what percentage of students done what. So, and we can predict, we can generate the things how our industry, say one particular institute will produce the or do uh, good works toward the life of society based, because if institute is producing good talent, somehow the products from it means we are the product of the institute, we are doing some good work somewhere around the globe, so those data can be sensed. So that is why it is cross industry application, and this basic principle is whatever we are reading, that applies to everywhere. It is not just for the health related stuff. Same opportunity, it is widespread enterprise adoption. So there's this word is opportunity, but there is some hidden uh, social cost to this one, because enterprise always want the profit. So no enterprise is there which do the charity work, even if they say it is charity, but it is not. So, but yeah, it is how our world is moving, and that is opportunity for enterprise adoption, so that these things could be scaled at the mass level instead of we are going for the slower pace. So enterprise adoption is really necessary for anything. Healthcare and drug discovery, of course, we are talking on that area itself. Personalization and customization. So this personalization and customization, it is not just a one personal personalization. It is spread to the domain on which we want to apply the solution. Like we just discussed the type of students are entering and how we can say use that data. So anywhere if you see the data, we can have this type of solution. It's whatever data we have. Normally we have three types of data. I'll see: text and image and voice. So wherever you say, okay, lots of texts are there, lots of voices are there, and lots of images are there, then any Gen AI solution can be applied there to, of course, there we need to have some reason why we are applying those sort of uh, say program, or what is our intention to apply those things. But it is there. Now coming about the weakness is fixed. quality and accuracy concern. I think we can see this practically. Uh, we'll see it practically how quality and accuracy is concerned. For example, if the very familiar and very famous worldwide this ChatGPT application. Now, if you're familiar that something had changed in last say 6 months, okay. Now you ask that chatbot, it will give you that information that is beyond 6 months, maybe, and this applies to all the era, means all the domains, whether the health, finance, or whatever we have. That is the accuracy concern here. High computational requirements, of course, it is there, but right now it is not a constraint because of this, I'll say, really cheap infra cost. Ethical and bias, of course, it is ethical and bias. Ethical and bias, how it is? It is all about what it is fed, correct? If it is getting fed with the good, ethical, non-biased data, and how we observed while the system was under training, of course, it would be non-ethical and non-biased. But since human itself is non-ethical, we itself are, uh, you can say, biased. So we don't cover all the cases. We don't share all the data. We don't uh, try to capture the data my system needs. Of course, it will behave, and this problem is not going to sort out in a real decade, I will say. Threats. Threats are, of course, lots of threats are there. The main threat, which I personally think is this one, the last one, the depersonalization of work. It's where human creativity is attached with this type of system. So, for example, art, music, therapy, teaching. So or it, it's all of us have remembered when we sit in a classroom, right? Our faculty uh, sees us. I mean, so they view us from different perspective. Okay, these are my students. Someone is struggling with the understanding in one way, means, or means there's some emotional attachment. That's what is called human creativity, that they can, or even you guys might be observing this thing in the classroom when you are dealing with the students. They are coming from different backgrounds, and they are facing different challenges. Same happens in healthcare as well, right? From people comes from different backgrounds, but machine and their fed data, they don't distinguish on that part. So this type of uh, say threat is really going to be there, and my personally, I don't think that that is going to be sorted in a near future, that emotional question which are missing in all these gen AI things. So now if you see this strength in the healthcare, that's the next continuation on the sort which we have just discussed for the broader level for the gen AI. Now if we just breakdown on this healthcare strength, just would like to have the numbers how it is going. So you can see here this highlight uh, the so breast cancer, of course, we are not even in this era we are not much exposed or open to talk in India compared to the Western world, where this is really a very high in a number. And the AI models, which is published by this JAMA. So you can see here they compared it, and the accuracy of these models is going beyond 90. Of course, it is clinical in a clinical trial because they have uh, read on the this model. So these are clinic based on the clinical trial. At this present time, there is a lots of these type of models which are being tested in a clinical trial, being surveyed with bunch of people. I have one case study slide in I think our case study. So data are there, but you will see that the main challenge is the number of people uh, who participate to those data. But at least from algorithm perspective, model perspective, we can see these things are are there. So improved diagnostic, personalized medicine. I think you might already have somewhere we have heard this one, DeepMind AlphaFold, which is really, I think this page itself, you can just someday just Google this AlphaFold itself. It has lots of and really well, I think well prepared uh, site is there, which we can look into just for information, even if we don't want to deep dive all those things. But we can just, I really like, at least we can see how these things are moving around us. Efficiency in automation. So automation is going to be there, because if there is no automation, how these things will be automatically used by the people. So of course tech peoples are there, uh, like like I already conveyed you the one of the program I was part of those. So where those things are, is all the algorithms or data sample are tested, then we automate it, and then automated means at the background things are same, but without the direct people's involvement, so that end user end user can be anything, it can be machine as well, which I'll show in my just techier stuff. So end user would be anyone who is interacting with this type of system without fearing by a human. And that is all. This is one of the really, I will say, a bad thing as well. You might have heard the Salesforce news. They are not going to hire uh, the word exactly they use, the new coders for this year, because AI is able to do their work. And Salesforce is really a uh, good brand name in the technical uh, corporate world. So of course, if there is a strength, of course, counterpart is there. Some some negative agenda means negative thing is there. Yep. Yeah. In this is also one of the good use case in silico medicine, where they have really pioneered in this drug discovery, and in this drug discovery thing, where in a normal it used to take years, it has been reduced to some days. Uh, so these data's thing, of course, weakness. So weakness is still people, not the people, I'll say. Of course, I'm not dealing with you. You individual is not dealing with it, because it is being dealt at the mass level, or this data privacy and security concern. Uh, one very tribal example, I'll show you this data breach. Why these organization, when they say data breach, for example, you might have seen around you that we are using, say, some device, a sugar test device, correct? We just pinch our finger, we apply that blood sample on that particular slide, and based on that blood sample, okay, that particular tiny system is able to convey, okay, what is the my sugar level. Now consider there is some hardware inside that one. Inside that hardware, there is some embedded program written in it. And now, what if that program is written by you, but since you have sold it to me, I can do anything with that device. I decoded that embedded program and understand how you are doing this thing. It's all those algorithms, how you have embedded your programs. So even that is the breach. It is not just like, okay, which we heard in a real life. Okay, someone has hacked the server, and uh, they stolen the username, password. That is there, but so data breach is even happening at this level where we have these handheld devices, which is really well equipped program. Uh, so these are all healthcare devices, and these are like a bit really why I name Abbott. There are other organizations as well, like IBM itself, which is helping in healthcare. But some of my close friend is working in this security area in Abbott or in this healthcare device, and they are really every time they are validating their checks and the security algorithms, how they applying the ciphers to safecast their device so that the competitor or the you can say the hackers should not able to decode the program which they want to write. And now you have how, and even Gen AI is going to uh, introduce there how. So of course, you say data is not getting generated, right? It is getting the prediction means based on the sample data it has, based on that data it has been trained on. But really, what is happening now? These devices are now being enabled with our mobile application. Correct? You see, and now from mobile application it will go to the uh, server of the provider, and now from there this data is again synthesized and being fed to the system, and then based on this we can predict or being used. So as technology is getting evolved, so that directly or indirectly we as a human are also uh, there's a particular term for this one. Of course, I don't recall that term. It's called human something, that we are indirect data sources for all the free services or all the ease which we are having at our home where we are sitting. So we are sharing those data indirectly or directly, because all for all the application we always say I consent, because unless we consent we can't proceed. So these are the really known weaknesses, and it would be there. On top of this opportunity in the healthcare, means Genia in the healthcare, one I think I just indirectly I discussed how we are moving and how we have started to capture the data from handheld device, health devices to the mobile app to the service provider to the corporate, and corporate to the, of course, we have the, we means the corporate, they have uh, tagging or say even the cell pool of the scholars, they use those data, and now this system is limited. One organization doesn't share data with another one. As an organization we don't, means even though these opportunities are there, these every company is working, you can see here, right? Accenture, which has create variable AI devices. Google Alpha DeepMind is a AlphaFold is a Google that is also working. That, but that doesn't mean the data which these organizations are collecting, or say IBM has is having. We are not trusting on those data, and we don't want to, as a corporate, we don't want to share our work with them. So opportunity is there, and each individual organization who are working in this direction, trying to say compete or trying to build something related to health, and reason is not that they want to contribute to the human being. The main reason is all these big organizations have two things. They have large uh, set of good skilled people who are working for them, and they want to analyze the data points, the overall behavior. They want to keep everyone uh, mentally safe and sound, so that at least the people who are attached to it, they could generate revenue to the from the market. So at the end, agenda is a business. It is not the idea. If there is a corporate, there is an enterprise. Agenda is business, and if there is no uh, agenda about the business profitability, of course, that company will be shut down by the investor. So, so threat, you can see there the 57% of healthcare providers that oh, they raise the concern over and this concern is not even though this data, this particular data, you can see it is from 2021, but that has not yet gone. The concern is still there that sometime these machines, or of course it is if it is a program somewhere and it is given by the machine itself, somewhere they are undermining this. Yeah. Anything you would like to ask? Okay, I think yeah, somehow someone has muted. Okay, so now next, the healthcare jobs. Now, one job already, I think you, we are witnessing these things that as in when the systems are growing and getting the momentum into the system, all the organization, small, big, even the hospitals, even the nowadays we see hospitals are also corporatized. So they are deploying those smaller chatbots, uh, call bots, healthcare assistants that do front line of interaction with the patient. And of course, when those systems are there, so previously it was the human behind that one. Now, as that line of work is no more, and in future as we progress, of course, those will not be there. And because day by day, these algorithms, the machines, data points are really growing tremendously, and accuracy will also will come, and there will be a point then we will blindly believe, okay, yeah, this frontline system of this type of automation means what in front of us are really good. And right now we are not relying on that part because of the data is not yet means the end result still is not consistent. But this we can feel the heat, or you might have started to feel the situation in all the area. If problem is one area, that will replicate, because this is how these things are working. Inter domain spreading is there. It knows that it will just touch the automation. It is not just, it will just touch the finance. It will touch the uh, everything. And when it says misuse, uh, misinformation and misuse, so as a human person, or as a means what I have practically experienced in India, we are not much concerned about our privacy data versus the people who are in a western part or UK, Europe, USA. They are really much more concerned about even the very simple data. They don't want to discuss uh, means if they have some illness or something like that. They don't want to disclose, and for them privacy is something, say, they don't want to share with their brother as well. uh, and misinformation, so that if there's those data goes beyond their consent, then they say, okay, no, it is misuse of my data. You will see one use case, because of that only the Google's program was cancelled in the UK in 2018 itself. Regulatory hurdles, it is there and it should be there, because like I said, at a corporate level, for us it is everything is a business. If there is a say no gain, no monetary gain, of course it is not good. It is so corporate can go to any extent, even with the fake data, fake samples, fake results, biased data. They can roll out their product. Okay, no, my product is good. It is doing because in a clinical research I got this much data. And when you read clinical research, okay, how much research you have done? Thousand data set. You say 1,000 people. When you say data set, 1,000 people, something like that. What type of demographic location we have covered? Okay, we have covered say Africa is this XYZ region, but now they want to roll out product everywhere around the globe. So maybe the situation which they people are dwelling, it is not say applicable to us. But of course, due to this, it is a business perspective in our mind. I want to roll out my product. So they, so that is why they, as we or our organization or government encounter this type of misuse and sense, okay, these corporates or these com- uh, labs are making fool out of us and trying to fill their pocket without uh, sensing the real threat to the human life. More and more checks are being introduced. You might have heard this HIPAA for health insurance stuffs, the GDPR, which is I think for a few years it is completely aligned in the UK and Europe. So that is going to be there. Ethical dilemmas, yeah, that is really one of the threat because still what we do, something machine has done as a people what we want to do. Okay, no, this mistake was done by the machine. So okay, I'm not responsible. But what about the AI? Because we have designed this healthcare program, right? We have designed this AI enabled or uh, health programs to introduce in our system. And now, if of course it is not 100% accurate, it is not considering all the which we do emotional things, all the con- entire context of the people who is from different demographic location. But and if something goes wrong, who is responsible? The programmer who has written this one, the base model, or the implementer who has further fine-tuned it, or the all the integrator who has integrated all those stuff together and deployed the system and started to sell the say machine to the different hospitals or the healthcare centers to make my product. So that is still who should be made responsible there. Okay, so that's it around. I think those stuff. Uh, Something techy. I won't go much deeper at this point of time. And we know now that even if we want to touch the one part of this era, it will take hours and days to get used to the practical stuff. But still, I try to be as brief as possible. But these three words I would like to share with all of you. So I'm assuming, even though you are means we can't converse together, but I'm assuming that we are conversing with each other. So when we take part in this, of course, this is a tech means you can see here something techy. So the first question is why? Why techy? Means why tech stuff? So this answer I can't give you. This is something we, the people, individual people have to answer. Why do I really need? And if answer is yes, you might have some data point to give you this answer. Yes, no, maybe something like that. That is this GNI or the new things which are emerging around us. Shall I interact with it? It can be simple. No, That is fine, because say my father doesn't interact with all those systems, my grandfather doesn't interact. So it is fine because everyone is a participant here. So now if your why, if you know the why, then only comes the what. Okay. So now I want to interact with the system. Then it is a what type of interaction I want. Then we will think our use case. So assuming we all are using the internet, we somehow or the other we are touching the IT IT in our day-to-day life, or at least in a working office or working hour. So there would be something for us, at least for this group. What? So what would be for us means, say you are a faculty, and but you are non-technical faculty. It is possible that you are teaching, say, some organization behavior things. So you need not to go in a deep dive on the how tech stuffs are there, but you can reach the application which is around you. So, and based on the uh, availability in your organization or in your personal space. Say, for example, you have heard the Chat GPT, you can use that one. You have heard the Gemini. Even if you are not using directly, indirectly you are using. I can will show you how you're indirectly using it, Gemini, if not chatbot. Gemini, because when you search on a Google, you might 90% chances are there in a week we search something on Google. The first prompt we see there, some data are generated new, and then we get some highlighter. Capgemini, so not sorry. Uh, Gen AI is still experimental. So the first set of data that is being thrown by the journey of the Google, the it's generative AI bot or generative AI application. Chatbot, this application, of course, by the OpenAI, you have to go explicitly on that portal, and then you use. But you should use it because it will help our life easier. So they are, if you are using, of course, you know its benefit. If you are not using, try to use it. Now, next step would be, if you are from technical background, means if you are dealing with your students or have some affinition in your leisure time to see how this system works, you can go a bit more closer. How means what next part is there which I can use. So of course, there are certain things which you should use. So that what you'll find. And how is it nowadays is it really uh, easy. Use Gen AI to learn the Gen AI. That's what I will say. Use Gen AI to learn the Gen AI. Means it 10 years ago, if there should have been a say Python program, and if you don't understand, only thing is that we have to go for some colleague, some teacher, some textbook, and there we'll see, okay, what this piece of program is doing. And it might take say some time. And now with Gen AI, I will learn that one to make my life easier. 5 years in 2018, when I first I had worked on the one of the NLP program, I had really felt difficult to understand the algorithms, how these are being written. But now, even if I don't understand by myself, I need not to ask, say, any expert in that area in a right away. Because say, if we are working right now and my problem is to be fixed right now, I can't dial someone and go, okay, hey, Matt, please explain this piece of code. Still, now I can use Gen AI and just ask us to explain. I'm not going to explain these things, LLM, what is LLM is there. We have already heard it. We have already have session on this. So just as a use case and key pointers. So use case is important here for LLM, and there is a real challenge happening for the corporate world. So first, use public or proprietary services. that on a corporate level we don't want to use. Public, of course, we don't want to use. Proprietary, we have a, let's say, security concern, data breach concern. So we don't want. So we, for example, I have some say GitHub Copilot as a enterprise, and previously I used to have the Microsoft Copilot, but I can't directly use that one in my code base. We are restricted by that one. No, you can't. If we need to understand some person, copy that person, change the some syntaxes, make it generic A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and then just use that piece, share it separately, and then use those LLM. So of course, if we have this type of restriction, you can't use any those LLM to uh, develop this any product. It's any up and forget about the healthcare. Healthcare is again way sensitive than the normal consumer data. So very easy is the consumer data. The next restricted is the health and finance. These two data are there, which are really restricted, and the corporate people involved in this industry are really very skeptic to use any piece of code which is not, or any piece of line which is not well tested for the years, has worked in a multiple environment. So now you can assume, say your Facebook is down, right? You have done something and your Facebook is down. It doesn't threat your life. Your Zomato is down. Your food orders, those are consumer application, that will not affect you. Let's see, you are going to book some financial transaction, and now that system has some bug. You might have seen some news. It messed up with your data. We are gone. Let's assume the exchange, which are working worldwide in our working days for some sets, some preset of hour. Now, if some mess up has been done there just for a 1 minute, we can imagine, forget about the world, even if in India, if our stock exchange Monday to Friday halt for 1 minute, we can say lakh or crore of money will go away. And in the national term, it had happened some on other exchange, billions of money goes down in just for a few minutes. Now think about the health. If one wrong system has been designed and utilized and people have started to use it, and of course it is being used somewhere because we are not so much ethical around the globe to use the perfect system on that part. So it just take away the one life. That one life is really crucial for one family. So this is really important use case. So for the big corporate, LLM is a custom LLM they prefer. For some mid-level, use the hybrid, means some part take from the existing one, some part let's make it and combine those things, train those LLMs to make it is our domain specific, and keep of course then make use of that sort of data. Prompt, of course you have seen it, use it, not much on this part. It is straightforward prompt. We ask, it gives some answer. Only constraint is ask clearly, like my friend, and keep iteration. Okay, this is not good, let's ask something else, something else. So good thing is that it will capture the context in which it is talking with us and try to answer the data. Embedding is really a crucial part here, and it goes again zero and binary part, because computer doesn't understand the because we are talking about NLP, that or the algorithms, but at the end computer does not understand any text. So there need to be some system where all these algorithmic data, stats, final outcome should be represented in a vector format or in a final numerical format. So that is where this embedding, or you can say embedders, works. Fine tuning. So mainly, of course, even if we develop our own LLM, if we are using the custom LLM or if you're using the hybrid, training is really required to make it works the way we want it to work. If you don't train it, it will never learn. So when we say fine tuning, so of course this is not means it is not about creating from the scratch. Of course, the data has already been trained. So for example, when uh, someone joins an organization, right? It is not giving training from the scratch. Some sort of information and knowledge that person already is having, correct? And then we give some extra data to that person. Okay, hey guys, you learn this one so that you will start contributing towards my overall goal. That is how it is creating from the scratch. Is not for creating from scratch. It is top up kind of thing. You're fine. That's the guy. That's why it is called fine tuning. It is not elimination of data. We are not eliminating older learning, because if you eliminate older learning, so kind of, yeah, people is completely blank. You don't have any context from where you are coming. So again, it would be you are starting to feed data from the beginning or inception. No omni channel. So that means if I train my system to do blood pressure test or predict about blood pressure, that doesn't mean that it will predict about the anxiety as well. Model might be the same, okay, but the set of data which we want, we have to train it. So when we say train means the same thing, right? When we teach or when you teach student, when you have teach us, means me, I, some of faculty might be there. So you give us some data, right? And we store that data, and then you take exam, correct? And how I answer or how people answer to your question, based on that you say, ah, yeah, that person knows. Okay, he's that one is 60%, 80%, 90%. Nowadays, of course, in CBSE, people get 100% marks. So based on that, okay, you decide, yeah, good. This student is good. So same way, okay, now this LLM is good. My LLM is working good. Whatever I have thought on paper, it is producing result according to that. So if it not work, like we said, extra classes. Similarly, okay, do the next iteration on the next set of data. Okay, data is not enough. Again, next extra class. This is how it goes on fine tuning. It's keep going on. So this is what we have discussed in our overview. So we as users send a query. I have just used this as a symbol. You can see here, it is a Meta, it is OpenAI, Google. Things are same. We send it the here using this system. Now this system is not one time. It is iterating. It is iterating. It is iterating. So once GPT was launched, 2022, I don't know. I don't remember the date. So if you see its data, it says 175, yeah, 175 billions of parameter it has used to train its model. And now the next iteration, I think we don't have that publicly available stats, how much. So it's this fine tuning. It is happening. And this is how outputs are being refined. Okay, so like I said, I'll do some quick hello. So for sake of simplicity, I have just added these links here as well. Similar, so you can, whenever your time permit, you can use it. And there's some small program as well, which you can use it. So here I means in a pseudo level, I would like to have in some interaction. So for example, if I say this one, this is its main site, how it is, this Jaji site, you can see, I just created how it, uh, some of you might have already used it, okay? And one more interesting part, when now we are getting deep dive to the tech part, you will observe the majority of the time, whosoever is coming and when we start something learning on this machine AI concept, we see it as a Python based program. So, and reason you may be knowing, you might be knowing, but it is basically, it is a, again, goes to the older era when the algorithms were designed for the machine learnings. And when Google was evolving as a technology company apart. So Google has really backed up Python at that time when Python 2 was there, and most of the scholars like you, uh, they prefer to use Python because of the easy syntax. And all those researcher, it's all research like you only. Means you guys are on the same era. Means you are designing those things. Okay, how it will work. Okay, no, I have used this parameter. It is not working, so I will change this one. So they started to use Python and the algorithm which they designed. Of course, those library or packages were in Python 2 at that time. So eventually, when it gets momentum, people start corporate started to adapt it for their recommendation system, for their prediction system, for their selling purpose, for their engagement purpose. You can pretty much see if you go on Facebook, you watch one video, as soon as it finishes, it will recommend you the next video to watch. If you buy some product in a Amazon, it will recommend you some other product based on. So initially, it was just based on the human race, age, location, but now these system know you perfectly. It's what you will like, and this is how we, as a person or as a society, are trapped in this on in this engaging era because it the system has started to sense us based on this data being generated. So it is pulled up, shared with us, and we are kind of indirect uh, user for it. So now when you practice this at your laptop, so now you know it is a Python, and normally it says as well. So basically, and here my assumption is there. Since I'm not current, but I'm assuming that we all know what is a GitHub. Okay, if any one of you don't know any one person, or if you have not used and if you are dealing with any program you write, start saving your program to at least on GitHub. The GitHub is not just alone. There are multiple like Atlassian is Bitbucket name is there, GitLab is there. But yeah, GitHub is kind of really much more famous in a public world versus those on the corporate world. So make your account and save your code. It is just for saving your code so you can access from anywhere. Now you can see here, uh, if you know Python, it might be familiar with you. If you don't know Python, so I'll just give you what does this statement does. It now we are not writing the code from the scratch. We can write the code from the scratch, but why should I write when some other researchers, scholars have already designed the algorithm for me? So I want those, say, program algorithm available with me. So this is how I install that one. So part one is Python should be there in your system. And one thing I would like to convey you, whenever you are using to Python, please always create a virtual Python environment for your particular work. If you don't know that one, that is fine. Just search of course, on GenAI or Google. Let me open the one GenAI chat or one chatgpt.com. You need not to log in. I don't want to. Normally, in office, I don't use these things because we are restricted to use. Uh, so you can search here means for how to uh, install virtual Python environment. So basically, it is give me all the answer related to what do you say, Windows. Sorry, not Linux. So in Windows, if you're on Windows, what I will see, follow this program only, but yeah, use the git bash. That is really good thing for you. So now consider you can search it and just to practice it. Either you can execute these command one by one. Say, I have to enable it. Oh, where is my screen? Okay. Okay, so what I have done this right now, I have just enabled Python environment for me, nothing else. Forget what. Good. Okay, there must be something. Let me go to my. Okay, so if you're following my screen, you might see this one. It got can say automatically activated when I went to this directory. So of course it is not something very crucial. I have just written some file. You can see here. Means when I launch in this direction, just use this particular thing. This is how it is working. So same thing we can. So I had tried to use this one. You can see here, GenAI bot. I missed the hyphen. That is why it is not there. Okay, nothing else. So now I'm in my one of the Python environment which we have. I have just created for the GenAI work. Now you can use this in a one file and execute it. So let's see, I have prepared this file as well. And okay, let's go here. You can see here, of course, there are lots of LLM are there, 20 plus free LLMs are there, which we can use. And how we can use, we can traverse and we can see its application. Was first, it says, okay, practice this one. So now let's see, today is my first day with the Python. I don't know any Python, but at least I know it has sent the Python. I searched in the chat GPT how to install Python. It guided me. You have installed the Python, you have done it. Now, of course, you can copy it. And after copying it, let's say I have saved it here. And of course, if I run it, it will say it is already there. So it will not install for me. You can see here. So it will say it here already is there. Now, I have made,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Excuse me, sir. No one is able
yes, ma'am.
to screen. No one is able to see the bot screen. Just on the PPT as yet.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I think, sorry, you should have intimated me because I'm using the, so right now, which screen you are observing?
Where you were having the link for the GitHub and
Oh,
some code download.
okay, okay. So you are seeing the static one? I'm not sure. Okay. Because I'm using this team in a browser mode. So, because I don't have team in my player, what I can. Okay, let me just reshare again. Maybe some sharing problem would be there due to this browser-based screen window or tab. And yep, thank you for reminding. Okay, I think it is the because it is due to some browser-based app. Let me just try to fix it out. Okay. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Sorry, I think this time glitch. I tried to restart, but not sure if I would able to again share entire thing or not. But yeah, please allow me sharing.
Sharing is allowed, na?
No, it says only meeting organizers and presenter can share.
So you are presenter, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now it's
Yes, you can share.
yeah. Thank you. I think now this is the main chat screen, right, where you guys are there, correct? Just here, someone speaks so that I know if my screen is sharing or not. Now, are you seeing some white screen? There is some Python main py is there. Hello. Okay, sorry. Because when I shift my screen, I can't see the chat box. That is why I think I asked. I have to again come back on this screen. Okay, cool. Thank you. So this is my presentation. Good health. Pacific. No, no, no. This should be the presentation. Cool. So we were there, right? So, okay. So now this is the, just please speak someone, anyone, one of you, just unmute yourself. So now I am this on a quick hello, correct? Where I was showing this available uh, library where we can use and take any LLM and do some hello world, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So now, like I said, this is the first one I had run here, pip install the Light GPT, means whatever modules. When we say modules, this is the Python programs. So those will get downloaded to my system. The minimum thing I wanted to work. So now it will no more again download. Second thing, because this is my first day with Python. Okay, my first day with Python. Let's assume that one, and I was there. But I want to learn this. On my user type is second user type, means so the first user type already I conveyed. At least uh, this user we should be there. Means start using available whatever GenAI system is with us. Just start using that one. That's a good thing. So this is my first day. Okay, I copied this one. Okay, because it's installed. It installed. Okay, now it says run this command. I just copied it and I ran it here. So for example, okay, can you see this VS code?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay, so I have just used as it is, nothing else. Whatever it says, I used it. And it says answer should be this one. Every fall, the family goes to the mountains. Okay, so this is one of the GenAI which used to fix the spelling mistakes. That's what we can see. At least that can I understand. Now, second thing I really want you guys to use, means if you are coming to practicing these things, VS Code is VS Code is free. Of course, it's acquired by the Microsoft, but it is a free. We can use it using a GNU license, so no charges there. And today is exactly 1 month. It has happened that uh, you can see this one in my screen. GitHub Copilot. It is an enterprise one, but on December 18, it was a. You can see. I would not say. I will search GitHub Copilot free news. Now you can see there exactly 1 month it has happened. Now this Copilot has been made free. Of course, it has some limitation. You won't get all the say freedom like we have in enterprise edition, but that is at least as a faculty or as a student of new tech era or anything, it is good for us. It's for all of us. So I'll say how it is. So now I copied this code. No one is around me to understand the document which I have read. I couldn't understand. Let's say we have read this documentation. It's okay. Documentation is also there. It says what to do, what not to do. But let's say I am dumb person. I couldn't understand the technical document which developers have written here. Okay. So here, once you are logged in the system, you have enabled your chatbot. Just ask it. That's why I think it means at this point corporate doesn't allow. Okay, so I'll say ask Copilot, explain the code. That's what my last point was there. Use Gen AI to learn the Gen AI. So here we can read line by line is what it is doing. Now further, if we see it says from this one. So when we enable this type of edition, we can go. So from this one, I'm using this particular method, LLM load, LLM generate. So of course, this point we can understand from this line. Okay, it is loading the Microsoft PS2 GPT model. Okay, now what generate is doing. So let's go to the generate model here. Okay, that is why it is not allowing me to go. Let me close it. So now we have this particular method. Now I will ask this particular chatbot itself. This is a so this chatbot is basically for the code base. Okay, if I ask explain generate, or I just copy this one. Okay, I'll say where was the generate? I just wanted to understand what is this generate method is doing, because of course I can't understand it, right? So let's say explain. So now see this, you might have seen this one. Can you see this line? This Copilot has accessed my file, correct? App.py, and from this particular file, it has read all these lines, line number 447 till line number 551. On as a business sensitive data, I might be working on some my personal algorithm, or you might be designing some personal algorithm which you don't want to be exposed to the outside world right now, because it is your private work. That is how it is not actively used, and even if we want to use, we use in a shorter chunk. But yeah, it is a public data, public model. We want to understand, so we can ask these type of question. Now this Copilot will explain you everything. This is how it is being trained on. It is trained on the entire GitHub data, which has millions of billions of line of code. So this way we can learn. And how will you practice it? For example, it says change this one. Now I have used a couple of things here. So for example, I'll use this one. You will see the change here. I asked this system, the model which we are using, that fix the spelling, and a spelling I want to fix is Ram eat doodh. So doodh is a Hindi meaning of English. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Will my system able to correct it? And let's see what it correct. I have it Ram eat doodh. So let's see how does it work. If as a human, if I want to work, we will say, okay, Ram drinks milk. That's what we would like to do, or something like that. And let's see what this machine or this model, when you ask this question to the model, where it has been trained. Now it's say it changed something to this. Ram likes to eat doodh. That means it is not able to distinguish doodh is a drinkable item or eatable item, correct? Or doodh is really a word, I want to transfer it into say English. So this is limitation of that LLM. And now test this one. Okay. What is eggplant? It says there might be some typo in my question, correct? Now same question if I ask ChatGPT. This is what I have said, at least start using this ChatGPT. So I say what is eggplant? Now this system has been trained to use the eggplant. So it is all about the training of the data. So you can start playing around it without knowing anyone, or without knowing any single word, because it will explain you, at least the technical term, it will explain you. And second case, let's say you don't want to even want to create a chat, this one GitHub account. But so, like I said, till last 1 year, it has some data for last 1 year. You can ask it, please explain. Let's say, please explain. I will copy these 3 lines, or for sake of simplicity, just copy entire line. Say, sorry, not, it is not human. Let's explain. Now you can see here, right? So now if it says this line import the LLM, Okay. Now I don't know LLM itself, so I will just ask, what is LLM? So now it will guide me through step by step. Now, okay, I got interest. So if I say, how can I learn Gen AI development? Okay. Oh, sorry guys. I think I have stayed your time. But just next 5-10 minutes. So here, if we see, this is really one of the good answer which we can go through, and whatever if we don't understand anything, we can just ask it. We can define it. This is how it will work, and it will work for uh, our all tech and non-tech work which we do in our day-to-day life. And this is purely for the coding purpose. Not it has no any another trained data. So just like it says GitHub Copilot, any uh, development question you can ask on the go. Means, for example, this is a snapshot I have applied in my uh, say PPT. I'll share this with you guys as well. Of course, there's a public code itself, and if I don't understand it, right, the same thing right here, or I'll say, please explain. It means what is it doing? That is how it is called Gen AI. Means AI is there, artificial intelligence is there. It used to have in a previous years, earlier years as well, but now it is generating some content. Now, if I say more human understandable way, okay. So now all the context which it will capture around the my code base itself. Now it has again tried to reproduce the next line so that I could understand what it is trying to do. So now you can see already there comments are there, but it has further tried to write more comment on this part, more comment on this part. So this is the next I wanted to convey you to learn Gen AI technically. Use Gen AI means, of course, there are tons of sample API, sample uh, models, sample code snippets are there, but we can't learn by ourselves, just going code by code, line by line. So make use of these existing system. Oh, this year still a second benefit you as a faculty will get is whatever code you are writing or some you can make your private repository. Means you can keep everything safe and you can access and prepare the data access from anywhere if you're working from college leisure periods or at a home at some time. So at least, yeah, if you're not using, start using this GitHub for storing your code base. And any any GenAI based prompt for your day-to-day life, that will reduce some of the work or time in your buffet. So this is a same thing, a different model. It is a GPT-2 model. Now again, we give some prompt and we want to try. Of course, I will not go much deep on this part right now, but we can just keep changing the prompt and how we are changing it. Now, same model, it is available with me. If I want to work the way I want, what I have to do, we have to train it. because it is really a dumb system. It will only answer what it is trained for. So already we have seen this, the Copilot. If you ask anything apart from the code, it will say, I don't know, it is something you have missed, some typo. So wherever it is trained, it will give you answer. Okay, I will not go much deep now in case studies because of the timing constraint, but next 5 minutes, I'll just capture, or maybe it is kind of more about the reading and the use of GenAI technology behind these uh, thing I had tried to capture. So due to this timing constraint, I will not go much in each line, but you can see the couple of example I have just taken from the internet, which are publicly available. We can figure it out. So this in silico medicine, of course, I have tried to capture impact on industry as well, how it is impacting the industry, and the when it impact the industry means it is impacting the competitor as well. A bit, it is really couple of like a bit I have used already in my word, but there are more and more investments are being done in the GenAI in the Abbott. So one, this is a live thing from this Abbott, the heart attack predictor. It is really working good. The link is here. We can get entire data from this part. It's a software, a Trion software being used in multiple hospitals for this cancer and heart attacks things. Where we have used tech, it means this system particularly have used GenAI. You can see these components have been used, and it is not just a entire stack, just you can say icing on the tip. Path AI, it was a good one, but now it has acquired by this Nanox. I've just tried to mention it. Of course, not going point by point. This Watson is really one of the word which if you see the search on the internet. So a couple of products of the IBM is with the name Watson. So it has a starting word Watson for that. Again, its link is there, and in Apollo Hospital, it's still it is using. And one is the USS article here on this part. Again, I will not go in a deep. Okay, I 7 minute cross. Sorry. Tempus is also. It's all these sites are really good. I would like you guys, when you, of course, time permits, still go with these links. It is a really good links to understand how things are evolving. Agricultural, I just has mentioned that it is being done. One of the notable things which we can easily find is Watson, a decision platform for agriculture, and we can sense what it is going to do with the farmers, and how it has used generative AI. So those things I have tried to just capture. Impact is really huge. This is only one use case I capture. This is what something I was trying to mention in my previous thought, talking that data is really less when we prepare some survey. So this, you can say this survey is really prepared by government of USA, but see the data, really very less data. But of course, whatever data it is, we have the stats here. It's based on, of course, it is completely related to healthcare, clinical services here. But you can see the participants in data, and but actual data, how much data are there with each participants, which you don't have. So for full detail of this article, we can refer with this survey article. So this is what I was saying, the ethical one. This has been shut down because there was some data breach allegation lawsuit was filed over Google by the UK NHS system where it was working good initially, and now it is completely shut. This program has been shut down there. So that's the which we were talking about: ethics, mismanagement, misinformation, misuse of data. So this is really of the one of the good example in that situation, how corporate say something else and at the back end they do something else. Again, this is kind of, we can say, so neither success nor failure, even if it has a good rating, uh, but it is, we can mark it as a failure because still it is not being trusted by the uh, I would say health professional. It is not just it is happy products are being launched, people are using, people are being launched, this is withdrawn, things are not working. Yeah, this is one of the good product, PET-DX, and its accuracy of was around 90% for the cancer detection using this blood sample of the dog. So like I said, due to this, it was financed by, say, some venture capitalist Petco, and of course, pet business is not much prevalent around the globe compared to the human business, human health business. So they pulled down their funding, and then this got shut down. So of course, the pet tax is not the only one. There another one as well working in the market towards the pet healthcare. But this is one of the, again, one of the good use case. Products are working fine, uh, serving the purpose, but still not business related revenue much. So investors just pull it down. Future, future you can see, just with respect to the market, I'll say you can see various players are there which are heavily investing in this era, and the news which we are seeing, even the misconducts, the misuse of data, all is for their revenue. So like more and more giant players are coming to the picture. More and more day we see that recently last week some robotic operation surgery was done from the two different physical location. So things are getting evolved and it will evolve. So like it says, in when this pandemic was there, at that time AI focused healthcare has raised around 4.5 billion in revenue. This resources I just try to mention is, if you want to go, just use
Sir,
whatever platform. Yeah, ma'am.
sir, participants are requesting to share the PPTs. So I will share
I'll
the.
share the link. I will share to, because
Yeah,
PPT is in a Google itself. I just share the link to your email, and
yeah,
from there
sure.
you just so that people
On
at least
WhatsApp.
can use these data.
Yeah, sure, sir.
And if
Thank
you
you.
feel
Thank you.
any problem with setting up these things, because of course timing constraint means, let's assume we don't know anything, ground zero, like I said, I can help you on that part. So that is you can do. So what is next? So I will not criticize, I will not praise, I will just say intelligence is the intelligence, whether it says artificial or whether the natural, the human, we as a human have. We as a human also exploit intelligence, right? We do good thing, we do bad thing. Same way, this artificial machine also will do the good thing, the good thing, the bad thing. So intelligence we can't blame. We will blame the intention behind that intelligence, and that will go good, that will go wrong. It is not that whatever, say, law, enforcement, ethics, whatever we apply, it will go wrong as well, and
Thank you.
right as well. So sorry,
Thank you,
I
sir.
just
Thank you very much,
consumed
sir.
my time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
really sorry.
you so much, sir, for the incredibly insightful and thought-provoking session. We truly appreciate the time and effort you have taken to share your knowledge with us today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for being bearing with me. I really, I feel sorry, but because I really consumed 30 minutes late and I could not even able to give you a good pointer on the insight. But yeah, ma'am, I'll share this PPT with you, and any question you have on that part, uh, either you can route to me via BCIIT. I'll be there to guide you guys. If you feel even this tech setup stuff, I'll I'll be there soon. That's what I'll try.
Okay, thank you very much, all the
Ma'am,
participants.
one of the participant has raised a hand. One of the
Yes,
participant has raised a hand.
Trupti,
We have
Trupti,
provided the
give.
mic. You can just unmute yourself for the query if you have.
Ma'am, she has left. I think by mistake she left the
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah. I have seen. It's okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your efforts. Pallavi, ma'am, you can continue.
Thank you, everyone, for participating in this thought-provoking session. So tomorrow's session will start at 2 o'clock, and details of the test and the feedback will be shared on the email as well as on the WhatsApp group tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.